The power of the situationship is that it creates a fabulous situation of what Terry Real calls stable ambiguity.
Interesting.
Just enough consistency to not be alone, not too much of it to not feel trapped.
My name is Willa Bennett. I'm the editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan, and this is Blind Date. As a special thank you, we are gonna do a special episode of Blind Date. So special that I'm actually not even gonna have the blindfold. I'm very excited to have Esther Perel today, an incredible author, a psychotherapist, a sex and relationship expert, and she has an amazing podcast. Where should we begin? I am such a fan of her work. So as a special thank you for watching and supporting the series, can I please get a round of applause for Esther Perel?
Hello.
Welcome to Blind Date.
Thank you, it's a pleasure. It's been a long time since I was on a blind date.
When was the last time you were on a blind date?
You don't want to know. Decades.
Cheers.
To
Thank you
yours.
so much for coming. We're so excited to have you.
Everybody's so quiet here.
Yeah, it's really serious at Cosmo. Okay, tell me, where do you start on a blind date? Like, you sit down.
No, why would you sit? In fact, you do a lot better when you move. When you move, your energy gets to flow, your anxiety gets to distribute itself. It's a whole different physicality that influences your emotional state. This idea that you have to go and sit, to start your set of questions, to go down the checklist, to be in a job interview is the kiss of death for dating and romance. Pick something you're interested in.
I feel like right now, younger generations are really conditioned to feel like that's a vulnerable step, inviting them into your friends. You know, I think there is some comfort in like keeping it separate. What would you say for our younger readers?
I don't think it's comfortable. Your friends are not judging you. Your friends are going to see things you don't see. Your friends are actually people who most of the time when something doesn't work out, we go to them and say, why didn't you tell me?
I am curious if you have any advice about like why that generation is more hesitant to date.
Because you're living more and more in a contactless world. You have less face-to-face, less eye-to-eye. You're in this still-face experiment where your face is frozen in a phone. I mean, the consequences of that, the social atrophy. You're weird if you start talking to somebody in a bar. We are less and less trusting our senses because we don't know what to recognize the signs. A text is a text. You have no sound, you have no affect, you have no voice. All these things that help us understand what are other people actually saying to us and communicating to us, we now have lost many of the strings of the instrument.
So how do you trust yourself?
You don't. It's not about trusting yourself. It's about trusting the uncertainty that comes with the beginning. Do you like me? Do you like me as much as I like you? I'm thinking of you. Are you thinking of me too? Do you miss me? You know, is the fact that it's taking you a long time something to do with me? Not really. I mean, these are actually the very thoughts that have always been signals that you were interested in someone. The goal is not to make them go away. The goal is to know that they're part and parcel of this beginning adventure.
I love that. So I don't normally prepare questions because I never know who the guest is. But because we prepared for your episode, I have some really interesting questions about dating right now that keep the Cosmo headquarters heated. So I thought I'd ask you. Is it bad to do some major internet stalking of someone before a first date? That smile makes me think yes.
Imagine I meet you in a coffee shop. Do I suddenly say, excuse me a moment, I just need to check your background? No, you have just lost an opportunity to ask me a really interesting question.
That's interesting.
What are you going to get? You're going to get a bunch of facts?
100%. What do you think finally pushes couples to come to couple therapy?
They're stuck.
They're stuck.
They're stuck. They find themselves stuck into constantly repeating, escalating cycles of attack and blame and lack of recognition and lack of empathy. Thank you. However, that said, many people confuse couples therapy with a drop-off center. So they bring and they drop off their partner. You know, people in couples therapy often think that the problem is the other person, not themselves. A question that I really like to ask in a first session is, knowing yourself as well as you think you do, what would you say makes it hard to live with you?
That's interesting.
Right?
Do you find the dynamic to be different when it's 3 people or 4 people in like a polycule?
No,
or
it's
is it
the
really
same issues.
Same issues.
Yes, the structure is different, The levels of expectations are different, the distribution is different, but the needs, the fundamental set of human needs are the same.
Have you had a couple come in where one is an AI and one is a person living and breathing?
Not yet, but I would love to.
And you would be open to it?
Yeah, I want to see where we go.
I want to talk about sexual compatibility. I think this is something we hear about a lot. What are 3 components of good sex and healthy sex and a healthy sexual dynamic?
Sex isn't just something that you do with a performance and an outline and an outcome. That's the majority of the way people think about it at this point. We will go much further if we think of sex as a place we go. What parts of yourself do you try to connect with? So, what are the 3 most important things? Is presence, patience, and playfulness.
What if 2 people just have different desires and fantasies?
Why do you think that sexuality is an exceptional experience? People eat differently, people spice their food differently, they negotiate it with each other. Some couples negotiate it very well, some people negotiate it by bringing in other people, and some people decide that we only will experience that which we both share. But it is a conversation, and our sexual preferences and predilections, they're not static, they change.
We do hear from our readers sometimes that like the best sex is with the person who doesn't text us back. Why do you think that is kind of being socialized into our generation?
Because if you manage to get the one that doesn't text you back to still be interested in you, it's highly ego-enhancing.
It's about the ego in that. It's not like the actual physical.
But that translates into the physical.
Interesting.
You know, if I feel powerful and sexy and irresistible, of course it translates into the way my body moves and expresses itself. They go hand in hand.
When is the right moment to have sex?
Oh, please.
Whenever?
Who can answer this? When you have a sense that there are 2 people who really want this. I mean, fundamentally, we're talking about sex that is consensual and desired by 2 people in that moment, even if they don't know if they want the same thing. Who cares?
There's no fear of like having sex too quickly?
Of course there is.
Oh.
Just don't beat yourself up afterwards. Should have done it sooner, should have done it later, should have done it less like that, should have kept my socks on. I mean, come on. I mean, people have been entangled in that from time immemorial. And women have had to negotiate constantly. This is the one thing that is mine that I should not trade so lightly on the market, and I shouldn't make it too available because the minute I give it up, then the merchandise has been tasted and there is nothing left to try to pursue. I mean, women throughout history have had to choose their security rather than what they wanted. They didn't follow their desires. And when they did, they paid a very high price. Today we have a freedom that is unbelievable. But freedom is risk.
All right, so I have some old Cosmo columns here.
Oh my God.
I'm very excited to look through them with you, and I'm going to get your take on how it ages or how it doesn't age. So Cosmo, July 1990, the article is called 10 Ways to Find a Lover, suggests that the post office is a good place to meet people. Where do you think are the best places to meet people today?
Oh, I think that the post box has been replaced by the inbox. It's just, I really would love for people to start talking to strangers again. To talk on the subway, to talk in the line, to talk in a coffee shop, to re-engage with the serendipity, with the happenstance, with the surprise.
So what do you say? Because that can be really scary.
Of course. You think about the context. If you're in a coffee shop, do you always take the same one? I used to go to the vinyl shops. That was my place. And I would find somebody that I thought seems to know what they're doing. And I would say, I'm trying to discover this jazz person. Can you recommend a few records? And for the matter, if a person doesn't answer you, it has nothing to do with you.
I completely agree. Okay, in a May 2001 story, How to Get a Man to Propose, we said that women should keep 25% of their social life private to get their man to commit. That way, they appear less dependent on them socially. Do you think there's some truth in this advice?
Okay.
Think about it.
Oh, my God. So first of all, you don't get somebody to commit.
I completely agree.
I mean, if you've got to get somebody and twist them and
there's so many columns about this.
Oh, my God.
If someone isn't, obsessed with you and excited, it's over. Find someone else. There's this trend on TikTok right now, I wonder if you've seen it, where it's get this Etsy witch to basically put a spell on your situationship to get them to be obsessed with you. And I think it is so not it.
The power of the situationship is that it creates a fabulous situation of what Terry Real calls stable ambiguity.
Interesting.
Just enough consistency to not be alone, not too much of it to not feel trapped. So I get just about the security that I need, but I don't forgo my freedom. And these kind of stable ambiguities, whether it's situationships or simmering or icing or breadcrumbing, all these, like I just keep you in my orbit, that's what makes people really feel shitty, actually.
That's quite interesting. Okay, I am going to jump into our readers' questions because we
Go,
got an
go.
overwhelming amount of responses.
Oh my God.
Okay, I shouldn't have, but I went through my boyfriend's phone and read his texts with his girl best friend.
Yeah.
He's not like cheating, but he's way more open about his feelings with her than he is with me.
Yeah.
What should I do?
Well, the first question I have for you, what irks you? The fact that you would like your partner to tell you these things, to you, rather than to this friend? The fact that he has those feelings and you wish that he wouldn't have them and they would go away? Or the fact that you don't know how to make sense out of the fact that many times our boyfriends, partners, find other people with whom they can confide in because they don't have the same fear of rejection, abandonment, or ridicule. And do you not talk to your girlfriends?
I tell my girlfriends everything.
Right. What would happen if instead of thinking something is wrong here, you actually thought, it's so beautiful that he has other people he can talk to. And maybe these other people actually help him be a different boyfriend to me and understand me better.
I think it is healthy also to have someone where you can go and really talk about the pros and cons of your relationship, and then you come back to the relationship and you're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely.
Okay, why does it feel impossible for me to move from online matches to real life dates? Is something wrong with me?
You know what is wrong? Is the fact that in your question, the minute something doesn't work out, your first question is, what's wrong with me? It's like, what is it that everything becomes an evaluation of the merchandise that is you?
Truly, I agree. My partner and I are both busy with work and travel, and sometimes it feels like we just don't have sex. Is it lame if I ask them to schedule sex dates? You're gonna have thoughts on this.
Well, because the question is formulated in a biased way. I think there are two parts in here. One is maintenance sex important? Yes. Sometimes you want a 4-meal course, and sometimes you're very happy with comfort food. I know that people want to think that planning takes the mystery and the passion and the ecstasy out of it. I think it's a bunch of rubbish.
Is there a sweet number that you recommend for couples? No. Okay, sorry.
I started writing Mating in Captivity because there was a cover story on Time magazine that was sexless couples. And sexless couples meant people who have sex less than 11 times a year.
Whoa.
And I thought, you see, the problem of this whole argument is that frequency equates quality. I mean, people have done sex forever. Women know that in particular and felt nothing. The point is not to do it. The point is to experience something.
100%. I feel like the second a guy starts liking me back, I stop wanting to see him. Why am I like this?
Many, many possibilities, but the first question I would ask you is, what is the idea that you like me better if you know me less? That's what you're saying. And if you know me, you won't like me, therefore I will leave you before you leave me. I mean, that's what's at play here. So now it's that, let's talk about your sense of self-worth. Do you think that someone would actually want to be with you? You're asking the question, but in fact, it's about the opposite of the question.
I agree. My partner wants to try couples therapy, but we haven't even hit our 2-year mark yet. Is this a bad sign?
I thought you would say 2 weeks. Look, I do couples therapy for 40 years. I have never said to people, why did you come so soon? But I have often said, boy, did you come too late.
But don't you think, especially in a new relationship, is it okay if it's that hard so soon?
No, but
2
that's-
years, no, but 2 weeks.
Right. Look, I was a person who for many years thought you go to couples therapy when you have serious reasons to go. You do go to couples therapy because you have problems in the relationship. But what happens is that a relationship can highlight problems and challenges that exist inside of you. But a relationship may even be a place where you can heal it.
That's interesting. I currently have 2 situationships. It seems like we're on the same page, but do I need to tell one about the other? They both feel kind of serious, TBH.
If you were on the same page, you wouldn't be asking me that question.
I keep having sex with my ex, and it's seriously the best sex I've ever had. Better than when we were in a relationship. My friends think this is toxic. What do you think?
There's an interesting thing. The sex is better than when we were together. That tells you something about the nature of your own erotic scripts.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I would be exploring your blueprints, your erotic blueprint together. What is it about? We are no longer in a relationship, therefore it's no longer what's expected of me, therefore it's no longer what I should be doing, therefore it can become more what I want. This is all part of your erotic blueprint. And your friends, if they want to understand sexuality, that's a better way to go than just to apply the word toxic like ketchup.
Toxic like ketchup. I love that. Okay, one more question, and then we're going to do in or out. I went on my girlfriend's phone, and she has been talking to Chat GPT every single night. Would you count this as cheating? This does imply that potentially it is romantic.
When I wrote The State of Affairs, the question was, is chatting cheating? And gradually, as we anthropomorphize the machine, we will begin to experience it more and more as it is cheating. So the lines of infidelity keep moving. I think the most interesting thing is not to ask yourself, is she cheating? Why don't you inquire? Tell me about it. What 100%. Do you talk about? What's the experience like? How does she answer? How is it different from me? If you ask the question, is this cheating, you're in a detective mode. If you ask the person, what does it mean for you, you're in investigative mode.
Interesting.
And that takes it completely outside of you are doing something with somebody else, that other girlfriend that we caught on the app before, then when we were
we should introduce them.
It's like, versus, tell me about the various places in your life where you find mirroring, connection, closeness, shared reality, rather than I just want it for myself, but then we don't talk about anything.
Yeah. Okay, I'm very excited to hear what you think. I'm going to say in or out.
I've been telling you what I think nonstop.
And I love it. Okay, so these are like dating trends, and you're going to say in or out. You can't...
Somebody filled up this glass.
Yeah, right? Of course.
You have to be careful.
Okay. Asking for a prenup on the first date. In or out?
On the first date?
Yeah.
Out.
Okay. Sharing a location 24/7.
Out, unless there is an absolute need for it. It becomes emotional enmeshment.
Sabrina Carpenter's new album art.
I think she was the most clever marketer. She knew exactly what would get people to discuss what is the true nature of feminism. Is it the voluntary subjugation, or is it the actual being sucked into an old trope?
Okay, I'll take that. Using Chat GPT to draft a breakup text.
Oh, please.
Out?
Out.
Sex on the first date.
Why not?
Calling a situationship monogamous.
I mean, the situationship is constantly trying to define itself by what it's not.
100%.
You want to call it fuck buddy, call it that. You want to call it casual, call it that. But to just say that it is this, but it leaves every option open. God forbid, commitment.
Gooning, in or out?
Edging is a real... In its tantric version, it's an incredible spiritual practice. To turn it into a psychological protective device is rather narrowing.
I agree. Announcing a breakup via a notes app screenshot.
Oh, please.
Okay. Sexting before defining the relationship.
Yes. That sexting will help define the relationship.
Liking your ex's Instagram stories.
Yes. You don't have to hate your ex.
Decoding Venmo to figure out your hookups dating life.
Oh my God. Listen, surveillance has never been a source of trust.
Matching with someone your friend used to hook up with.
I do think that if you ask the friend, and if the friend says, coast is clear, it's yours.
Sure.
Uninterested.
Asking for a break, but then still sleeping together.
Happens all the time.
In or out? Ghosting.
Ghosting is out.
Really? But I do think you don't owe everyone everything.
Yeah, but I think it's a shitty behavior.
Definitely. It's shitty. It's not recommended. What about going through someone's phone that you're dating?
I think that if you need to go to someone's phone, you need to have a conversation instead.
100%. And lastly, blind dates.
Love them.
Thank you so much. This was such an amazing conversation. I learned so much. I laughed. There's so much we can all learn from you. So I really appreciate you coming on for this special episode. Will you go on another date with me?
I would love that.
Thank you.